Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
We're going to start off with Raw this week, opening up with a massive clash between John Cena and Jason Jordan. John Cena able to come out on the top, but Jason Jordan still gets a good showing there. He had a match with John Cena, and he didn't absolutely get demolished, so it's always a good showing. Has the Jason Jordan as Kurt Angle's son thing really worked out for Jason just yet?
I would have to say probably no.
I think it's possibly a little too early to judge it, but signs point to no. Signs point to it almost being completely ignored. I don't know what's happening backstage segment-wise, but it doesn't look bright.
I've heard that they aren't exactly happy with the fact that he's not getting over.
It almost at this point seems like just a glorified way to trade Jason Jordan to Raw. And nothing else has come out of it, really. I think the potential Intercontinental Championship program there with The Miz would have been great for him establishing the character, and potentially picking up the Intercontinental title. But obviously that didn't work out, whether that was due to switches with injuries or all this other stuff, but it seems as though Jason Jordan at the moment, in the current snapshot of the WWE, is floundering.
Yeah, it's just, it may be that Jason Jordan just doesn't have the charisma to pull it off, though.
It kind of sucks that, like, this was hyped up as such a big angle. You know, we had Kurt Angle coming back. Kurt Angle now has an illegitimate son. Boom, it's Jason Jordan. Sure, people saw it coming, but still, boom, it's here. And that it may just peter out. I don't know. It seems like something that it's just so disappointing that it's petering out. But he got a match with John Cena, so not all hope is lost just yet.
Yeah, there's always the possibility that they could make something out of it, so. But it's, as usual, it's just a wait-and-see thing.
Talking about that Intercontinental title that Jason Jordan could have potentially been challenging for, The Miz successfully defending his Intercontinental title against Jeff Hardy. Are we still going to be going through the singles route, I guess, with Jeff, or was this a one-off?
I don't know.
I think that's always the default outcome at the moment, is just, I don't know. Jeff could continue solo, as would Matt, of course, or it was a one-off. Miz, it's always hard to tell when Miz retains his title just because he defends it in such a Miz way that you're not sure if this is the end or whether we're going to have another one or what. But The Miz now the fourth longest combined reign Intercontinental Champion, closing in on third. I think he's about a week off it at this point. Probably will get that and overtake the Honky Tonk Man. We need the Honkometer back. But The Miz just such a dependable person, I guess. Both with this shoving the Intercontinental title on him and just shoving him in feuds and being able to work the other people well in the ring, on the mic, and boost their profile as well as boosting his own.
Yeah, the Miz has been a reliable hand. He doesn't get hurt, as he even said in his own promo when he burned Daniel Bryan. He just he's always there, and he's very good with PR and things, and he'll do anything WWE asks him to do.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they would trust him with their second most important title.
I think Miz is going to be one of those guys that we look at, and he's going to still be here in 5 years, and God knows how many years. Just because, as you said, he doesn't get injured. Not really a factor there. He's got both the in-ring and he's got the mic, so he's able to go with that forever. It seems as though Miz is going to be a corner post for a long time.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, with how long he's been around, that Miz is only 36.
It's. I guess he started very young. That's a good thing, I think. He's not going to be blazing any trails anytime soon, but it's always great to have that hand there to be able to help out with both the younger people and just in general, being able to be a flagship face to put on posters. If we jump to 205 Live, the Cruiserweights, Enzo Amore, running his mouth, did manage to net himself a number one contendership after winning a match over on 205, and I believe that match will be happening at No Mercy.
Yeah, Yeah, and there's a custom Cruiserweight Championship on WWE's shop for him.
Yeah, but we had the New Day tag titles as well, so can't necessarily tell just yet whether we're going to or not.
Yeah, but the custom New Day titles did at least bring a title reign.
True. I think it definitely seems as though it's lined up for Enzo. I do wonder if the swatch with Akira Tozawa in the middle was to give the title back to Devil so Enzo could take it.
I don't know.
It at least makes sense to me to be able to... maybe they gave it to Akira, changed their mind, realized in the long run that it was going to be Enzo, and did a bit of a switchy swatch around. I don't know. I think Enzo, coming into the Cruiserweight division with so much hype, he'll get the title sooner or later. Whether he wins it at No Mercy or not, different question, but I think Enzo will be the next Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, I just felt bad for Akira Tozawa and Toyota Sonil because they were the most over thing in the Cruiserweight division, and they've just gotten shoved to the side.
Yeah.
For Enzo.
Shoved to the side is almost an understatement. What's happened here? Enzo has just come in like a bulldozer and just taken over. But at least it's something for the Cruiserweight division, I guess. They were already starting to build their own hype, so I'm not going to put it all behind Enzo if all of a sudden they become a massive force. But I think he's going to help them at least stick around for just a little bit longer. We've also got a new match scheduled between Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, but Bray wants to fight the mortal Finn Balor. No demon here.
Yeah, the demon seems to be, as it should be, something special. It should only be brought out for big moments and pay-per-views. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I like the way it's being treated almost as a separate thing. You know, you can fight Finn or you can fight the Demon King or whatever, if it's just Demon Balor. I like the separation there. I think Finn will still pick up the win against Bray Wyatt despite having to face him as a mortal. I don't think that's going to change anything anytime soon.
Yeah, since it'll be on pay-per-view this time. Last time it was on Raw, and Bray seems to be able to win on Raw, just not on pay-per-views.
It's the curse Bray has. Simple as that. Tag team division, Cesaro and Seamus versus Ambrose and Rollins is the booked match, but the club do appear to be injecting themselves, or I guess being involved in scuffles. There's a potential, are we going to get the triple threat tag team match we thought we were going to get with the Revival, but with a couple people shuffled about?
No, I think we'll just get the rematch, and then we'll see where we stand with the tag team division after that.
Okay. I think the tag team division at the moment is not the most robust, I guess is a way to put it. I forgot Slater and Rhino were there until they decided to show up and cop a loss. They could have appeared in weeks past, but they've been forgettable. So, I don't know. I think they need a little bit more solidifying over on Raw with their tag team division. And I'm not saying they need more teams, or they need to bring in more, or build more. Just sort out what you got, essentially. Women's division now, Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax versus Emma. Booked fatal 4-way for the women's title. Emma's gonna win, right?
No.
I think you meant yes.
No, I meant no.
You're missing a letter, and 2 of them need to be changed. It's yes.
No, it's Nia Jax's time to shine.
Will she win here, or will she win on the one-on-one? I think there's a potential that she wins here, but I think there's also a potential that Alexa Bliss has some slimy retention strategy, and Nia gets screwed, and then we move into a 1v1 later.
Yeah. I think doing a fatal 4-way and including Emma in it, I think might be the best roundabout way of getting the title on Nia without her having to actually beat Alexa to put it on her.
It definitely seems like Emma is just here to be the pin sponge. It's essentially her role in this match. I mean, she's going to win it, but she's just going to cop the pin. It's as simple as that.
She's going to pin herself for you.
That'll be confusing and make me happy. But we're running out of Raw time, so we're going to talk quickly about the main event, the Steel Cage match. Big Show, Braun Strowman. Is that it? Are we done?
I think that may have been it for Big Show. That may have been his last match.
I'm not disappointed if it is.
The guy's had one hell of a career. He's and it's very well for him to have come back to put over Cass and although Cass got hurt.
Yeah.
And Braun as the next generation of the big guy in WWE.
Dude debuted in WCW in 1995.
Yeah.
That's, what, 22 years ago?
22 years? Yeah, it's almost 22 years to the day. His debut was sometime in I think June or July of 95. So yeah. And his first match was against the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Can't have a better start than that.
Yeah.
It's a great career. I think Braun Strowman looked absolutely golden in this match, but that was the point of the match. And I see no better way than Big Show to go out here. We already knew he was coming to an end. His career was taping off. I'm just glad that him getting into shape and coming back wasn't wasted on a Shaq match and then just thrown away. I'm very happy with this being the conclusion to the Big Show getting in shape to have like an awesome last run here. I'm also great with this being the conclusion to the Big Show's career as a whole, going out on a high note, rather than stretching it any longer than he should have.
And he definitely deserves a Hall of Fame induction.
Easy. I think the only debate would be whether he goes in as a headliner or not. I think that's the only debate. There's no debate whether he deserves a spot in it. And due to his career longevity and like the number of titles and the amount of great matches the dude had, depending on who else is going in the year, I'd say he definitely deserves a number one billing. But I've always been a big Show fan. What do we call ourselves? I don't know. The Shows, the Giants, so I'm always going to vote that he deserves to go in as a number one. That's pretty much it for Raw. We'll just play Big Show's theme. How about that?
Well, it's a big show. Turn up them lights. Turn up them lights.
And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. We're on the SmackDown half now. Shane McMahon attacks Kevin Owens, gets suspended, and Big Daddy Vince is coming in next week to have a say.
Ooh, boy. That should be interesting. It also reminds me of the fact that we haven't seen Stephanie since WrestleMania.
Yay! I know a lot of people are worried that this is going to be them instating Stephanie on SmackDown to take Shane's place for a little while. Oh dear God, please no, is my response to that. My main thought here is that it's going to be Vince coming back, and he's going to be like, Shane, you did a really naughty thing, and Shane's going to be like, I'm going to get in that cell with Kevin Owens, and if I win, I want my job back. And Vince is going to be like, you don't have a lockbox to bargain with this time. And then Shane's going to go with, no, I stole the lockbox again, haha. I just like mentioning the lockbox at every potential avenue.
Yeah. Yeah, because nothing was ever made out of it, so who knows? This is definitely interesting. I don't know exactly when we'll see the match between Kevin Owens and Shane. It could be at the pay-per-view at Hell in a Cell. It could be later on, but it's definitely going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We know that for a fact. Just it's been an interesting way of they've gone about doing this versus, say, the way they went about setting up AJ versus Shane.
Mm. I think the funniest part is going to be if Vince tries to come in and scold Shane. Shane just like bringing up, but you and Austin always fought. Why is it okay for you two to fight and not me? Just bring that sort of like family dynamic of the son just being like, but you did it, Dad. I'm being like you. But it's Vince. It's a big thing when Vince shows up. And everybody's going to chant his theme song, and we're all going to cheer at him when he gets in the ring, because that's just what you do when Big Vince comes in. But believe it or not, stuff that didn't involve the McMahons also happened on SmackDown. Aiden English, on a roll, manages to pick up a win against Sami Zayn now, all aboard the Aiden English train.
Yep. They finally figured out they've got something in Aiden English, and they're going with them. Unfortunately, that's coming at the expense of Sami Zayn, because he's beaten him twice now in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a long-term investment in Aiden English, but Sammy is, much to the chagrin of the internet, going to be the perpetual loser. He's going to be the one that sits there and he loses feuds. That's just what Sammy is going to do. He loses feuds, he loses matches between feuds. Suck it up, deal with it. He's great at it. The fans are still going to cheer him, and he's always going to still have that legitimate underdog chance if he ever goes for a title. It's just the way he's built and the way it works. With Aiden, honestly, I'm surprised they've been giving him this. I don't know if this is going to be a one-off run or whether this is going to be the longevity of Aiden English here. I think after the Vaudevillains split due to Gotch, I had very low hopes for Aiden. So for them doing anything with him, I'm fully behind.
Yeah, he's very talented, and he's got a way with making people hate him, which is a good thing. We'll have to see, but that's about 6 or 7 wins now in a row on television and pay-per-views. So, things are definitely looking brighter for him than it was a couple months ago.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll wait and see with Aiden here. But someone who it seems like his momentum isn't entirely dead, Baron Corbin, decides he's going to kill Ty Dillinger while AJ Styles watches.
Yep, because they both wanted a shot at the AJ Styles U.S. Open Challenge.
I think Baron AJ is pretty solid at this point.
Yeah.
And Ty just got himself stuck in the middle and squashed a little bit. Not squashed in the wrestling sense, squashed as in the literal sense.
Yeah, he was he was foolish enough to stand on the train tracks while the train was coming.
Choo choo. But yeah, we'll see Baron AJ in the near future. Again, I don't know whether we'll stall that out till the pay-per-view or whether we'll have that match a little bit earlier. Wait and see with those two, but it seems as though Baron hasn't completely lost his momentum. Hopefully. Carmella decides to kiss James Ellsworth. It's a thing. It happened.
And then apparently they ended their partnership.
To me, it was ambiguous. I may have missed something else, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess I said this last time. I don't know what's next for James. And then he got the Carmella thing. I don't know what's next for James after this. But I think we've gotten to the point where Carmella doesn't need him. She's doing damn well on her own. She got that briefcase. It's just a matter of time until she's champion. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to see in the future of little James Ellsworth. Probably just losing a bunch. Sorry, James. Dolph Ziggler decides to dress up like Naomi. Is he having a midlife crisis? He just can't decide who he's going to be today.
I suppose it's possible.
I think it's a real bad sign generally from what we've seen in the WWE. When you start dressing like other superstars, your future is not generally the brightest. It's been pulled off sometimes, but I don't know if this is going to be a long term or if this is just Ziggler being Ziggler.
Yeah, usually if it works, it's like with Charlie Haas or Damien Sandow. It's just a comedy thing. But I don't know. It's just Ziggler's there. He's always got a spot if he wants it, but I don't know. It's just I'm not that interested in Ziggler right now.
Yeah, this always screams of we've got no other ideas for you, and this one's no different. But someone that they do have ideas for, Shinsuke Nakamura, beating Randy Orton, #1 contendership to Jinder Mahal's title. We're going to get to see those two go one-on-one again, and we're going to get to see Shinsuke walk away the champ this time, I think.
Yes, I think we will.
I think you've been saying it for a little while, so I'll just get on your little bandwagon as you're coming past. Just honk honk outside my house, and I'll run and get in the car. But yeah, I think that's definitely the way we're going. I'm fine with it. Shinsuke's going to be fine as the champ. Jinder, I think, has run his course a little bit, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, Shinsuke has now beaten John Cena, Randy Orton, looks super strong. Even if he did lose to Jinder that once, but hey, it's the champ. Jinder is the champ. We've got to put him on the same tier as all the other champs.
He's had a very good run as champion. Definitely lasted a lot longer than most people thought it would. So you can definitely not be considered a transitional champion.
No.
I'm fine with the reign. Let's just see what they do with him afterwards. That's the one thing I am concerned about.
Yep. It's definitely the most interesting prospect of what is going to happen with him afterwards. I don't know. I have no answer. Potentially just dropped back into obscurity. Always an option. But just before we go, let's just drop a little mention to Global Force Wrestling here. Are we finally putting them in a coffin, setting it alight, and kicking it out to sea?
And that's like a cockroach. Can't kill it.
That's what we always say. And then they hired Russo again. It's only one way to kill it. Inject it with a lethal dose of Russo.
Although I have heard that Anthem wants to get out of the deal, that they're hemorrhaging money over it.
I think this might be the one. I know I've said this like 4 times already. I think this might be the one. I think Jarrett being suspended and eventually pulling himself out with all the Global Force Wrestling trademarks. I think Anthem not wanting to be there anymore. Since Billy is either in the process of or has bought NWA, he's got no intentions of it. I think this might finally be the library to WWE and the wrestlers going their separate ways.
I don't know. Another thing was that Jeff Jarrett's apparently taking a leave of absence as well.
I'm pretty sure he's gone. Gone burger. But I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Until I hear the announcement, I'm just not going to believe that they're going to die until they actually do.
Okay. We will make sure to make a huge note of it if it does. But I think it's just I got a feeling it's this time. Either way, that's all we got time to talk for. It's been great talking to you. You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, and we'll see you next week.